जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी Hare Paramahansa Parijakacharya Stottra Shata Shri Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Ramacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki Their most merciful Lordship Shri Shri Radha Madhava Radha Shyam Sundar Radha Vrindavan Chandra Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki Srila Prabhupada ki Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to assembled devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. We'll offer our obeisances to our disciple succession first. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovistam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yudavadakalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Shri Shakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Vrishaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There is a long list of prayers, but maybe we'll just offer this one prayer. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. 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 Okay, my first Bhagavatam class. So please feel free to comment in between. So we are reading from first canto, second chapter, Divinity and Divine Service, text 1 and 2 today. These are very beautiful verses. Actually, first 3 verses are super duper beautiful verses, but we'll read the first 2 today. We'll recite both at a stretch and then we'll go into the purport. Vyasauvacha iti samprishna samprishto vipranam brahmahashani प्रतिपूज्य वचस्तेषां प्रवक्तुम् उपचक्रमे One time we can Prabhu Sudan.
Vyasa uvacha iti samprashna samhrushto vipranam romaharshani pratipujya vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame
Vyasa uvacha iti samprashna samhrushto vipranam romaharshani pratipujya vasastesham pravaktum upachakrame
Mataji.
Vyasa uvacha iti samprashna samprishto vipranam romaharshane pratipujya vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame Vyasa uvacha iti samprashna samprishto vipranam romaharshane pratipujya vachastesham pravaktum upachakrame
Suta uvacha Yam pravrajantamanupetamapeta krityam Dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava Putreti tanmayataya taravo vinedus Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi
Suta uvacha Yam pravrajantamanupetamapeta krityam Dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava Putreti tanmayataya taravo vinedus Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi
Suta uvacha Yam pravrajantamanupetamapeta krityam Dvaipayano virahakatara ajuhava Putreti tanmayataya taravobhinedus Tam sarvabhuta hridayam munimanatosmi
Okay, just read the translations word to word. Maybe we'll just do word to word also. I'll just read it once. Vyasa uvacha, Vyasa said, iti, thus. Samprashna, perfect inquiries. Samhrishta, perfectly satisfied. Vipranam, of the sages there. Raumaharshani, the son of Romaharshana, namely Ugrashrava. Pratipujya, after thanking them. Vachaha, words. Tesham, there. Pravaktum, to reply to them. Upachakrame, attempted. Ugrashrava, Sutta Goswami, the son of Raumaharshana, being fully satisfied with the perfect questions of the Brahmanas, thanked them and thus attempted to reply. So here in this verse, we'll just share based on what we read. So in this verse, something that maybe before even going to the verse. In the first chapter, there's like Sutta Goswami's qualifications are said. Sages glorify Sutta Goswami, saying you are snigdha, you're simple, you're really dear to your spiritual masters, and you're very nice disciple, and you hear from them, you assimilated. So they are really happy to have met Sutta Goswami, and they're satisfied. They are satisfied at that point of time that, oh, we got such a person who we can actually ask all our questions, and we can discuss some really good topics that will give welfare to everybody. Their whole concern was how to diminish the effects of Kali Yuga on all the subjects of Kali Yuga. Based on that, they asked all these 6 questions. We know all the 6 questions, but we can just quick recap. First question was, what's the ultimate welfare? Right? Second question, essence of scriptures. What is the essence of all scriptures? Third question, why did Krishna appear as the son of Devaki and Vasudeva? He can choose to just come this and down, right? He appeared as son of the specifics they're asking. And fourth question? That is last question.
Creation.
That's important question. So they put it for the last.
Krishna's how did he create creation?
Yeah. They ask about Purusharthas. What Krishna did, how did he do all this? There's these are all some questions that we can observe that children ask. Little children, they ask actually, because they came out of they don't have the barrier, can I ask this, can I not ask this? So they ask. And then 5th question? Leela Avataras. And then 6th question is, Pandran Gopal Prabhu said, important question, where does all the religious principles reside? Krishna has departed. So they ask all the 6 questions. And then in the 2nd chapter, now having heard all the super robust questions, which are deeply meaningful and very worthy to be spoken about, Sutta Goswami gets excited. Because we can see this whole dynamics happening. Initially they were really happy, now he's very happy that, okay, I'm also happy that I'm here. It's not just for you, it's for both of us. So then he, one thing that we need to note in this verse is that word samhrishta. Samhrishta is actually perfectly satisfied. Everybody looks for satisfaction, and Sutta Goswami said this is perfectly satisfying. We eat gulab jamun or rasgulla, or we go out for vacation. Everything we do is really find some satisfaction in form of achievement, in form of this or that, many things, in form of maintaining our family well. In many things actually we find satisfaction. That's why we do. If something is not satisfying, we're not going to go do it. That's why even job, nowadays they have the job satisfaction scores, and hospitals we have surveys. So everywhere this is being measured. But something that, measuring all these things, there's always this, they weigh across the balance. Okay, this much score we got for our hospital, okay, it's recognized as magnet hospital or whatever. So something like that. Here, it's not about score or calculation, it's really about heart satisfaction. So he's saying, I'm perfectly satisfied by your questions. Why? Because they are perfect inquiries. So, Sutta Goswami, because this is really satisfying to me, when we feel happy or satisfaction, naturally we want to say something to the other person who did that for us. So we, out of our heart, we say, oh, thank you so much. Or we at least feel it. Oh, I'm so happy that I'm part of this institution, I'm part of this or something. We feel grateful. So now he feels grateful and he says, okay, thank you. So he thanked them, and thus after doing this, he first connected to his heart. He first saw what happened, and then he first connected to his heart, and then he started speaking. So it is actually from his heart that he is speaking. He's not speaking from the memory that he heard from Sukadeva Goswami. It's not like didactic. He may know everything didactic, but that's not the purpose of Bhagavatam. So he is coming out of heart and speaking here. And Ugrashrava is another name for Romaharshan Sutta. That is, Sutta is son, right? Sutta Goswami's son. So son of Romaharshana, his name is Ugrashrava, and he is addressed as Sutta Goswami. And so here the main point or the main message that I actually felt is that this whole dialogue that's going to happen throughout this Bhagavatam from first canto till whatever 12th canto is all from the heart of a pure devotee. It is not collection of chronological events or something. It is directly coming from their heart because they are satisfied and they are sharing that satisfaction with everybody. And if we want to satisfy them, then if we want to experience some perfect satisfaction, this is the way to go. To just read Bhagavatam and to try to come and be in the Sangha and as we are doing now. So that's something that I wanted to share about the first verse. In the second verse, we'll read the word to word and just continue. Sutaha, Suta Goswami, Uvacha said, Yam, whom, Pravrijantam, while going away for the renounced order of life, Anupetam, without being reformed by the sacred thread, Apeta, not undergoing ceremonies, Krityam, prescribed duties, Dvaipayanaha, Vyasadeva, Viraha, separation, Kataraha, being afraid of, Ajuhava, exclaimed, Putra iti, O my son, Tat Mayataya, being absorbed in that way, Taravaha, all the trees, Abhineduhu responded, Tam, unto him, Sarva, all, Bhuta, living entities, Hridayam, heart, Munim, sage, Anata Asmi, offer obeisances. Translation. Srila Sutta Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisances unto that great sage, Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. When he went away to take up the renounced order of life, sannyasa, leaving home without undergoing reformation by the sacred thread, or the ceremonies observed by the higher caste, his father, Vyasadeva, fearing separation from him, cried out, O my son! Indeed, only the trees which were absorbed in the same feelings of separation echoed in response to the bereaved father. So, as soon as he connected, Sutta Goswami, as soon as he connected to his heart, immediately, who is the heart of a pure devotee is his own master, his spiritual master. He immediately connects to his spiritual master. That is very intimate relationship. And now we will see what the spiritual master is connecting to in this verse actually. So he wants to just offer first, everything belongs to whatever we have belongs to the Lord. And in one sense, it belongs to just the spiritual master because they gave it to us. You know, Krishna belongs to spiritual master. Krishna said, Tomara, the Vaishnav Thakur, the bhajan is there where Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Krishna is yours. You can only give Krishna to me. So please give him to me. You know, Krishna said, Tomara, Krishna, Dite Paro, you only can give. So it's like, so that everything what we have also is also belonging just to spiritual master. So he connects immediately. And this verse has a lot of different messages. I don't know if I will be able to look at every message, but if you have something to add, just add as we go. Purport. The institution of Varna and Ashrama prescribed many regulative duties to be observed by its followers. Such duties enjoin that a candidate willing to study the Vedas must approach a bona fide spiritual master and request acceptance as his disciple. The sacred thread is a sign of those who are competent to study the Vedas from the Acharya or the bona fide spiritual master. Srila Sukadeva Goswami did not undergo such purificatory ceremonies because he was a liberated soul from his very birth. So Prabhupada is trying to just share about this whole thing of the first line, I think. Yam pravrijantam anupetam apeta krityam. He is going away for renounced order of life without being reformed by the sacred thread. He didn't undergo any proper samskara or purificatory ceremony, so he's just leaving. And if we read that at least, without purport, it will be just like, okay, he went without he went without samskara, he was qualified, that's all. But why something like that is set up in the system, that's what Prabhupada is actually giving here. Prabhupada is saying that, the purpose of Varna Ashrama is given, actually this is spoken after some verses, yeah, or in the previous chapter. Prabhupada says everything is for Haritoshnam, right? All the Varnas and Ashramas, all the duties, everything is for approaching or worshipping the Lord. So now he says, what encompasses that Varna and Ashrama is, that is the regulative principles and purificatory ceremonies. So institution of Varna Ashrama prescribes many regulative principles, and among that, this is one of them, that is the sacred ceremony, Upanayana or second initiation, or however we call it. So that is one of the steps in the person's life. That's a very important step a person takes to actually approach the spiritual master and then receive that, receive the second initiation or receive the initiation. In Vedic system, the whole system was that before even the boys or they started, they would first do this, right? So they go and then only they enter into learning all the, the whole Gurukula system. Everything begins with this purificatory system. So that's why the whole process of learning the Vedas started in that sequence, in a proper way like that. Now we are starting late, but still, spiritual master is the main principle. The moment we connect with the spiritual master, there itself the relationship gets established. It's not just like waiting. We are not like, the relationship gets strengthened and formalized after initiations, but then it starts the moment we actually meet and interact with the spiritual master. That itself is the entry point actually. So here Prabhupada is saying that Shukadeva Goswami did not undergo any purificatory ceremonies because he was liberated soul from the very birth. And now we also remember other examples, right? If someone who we everyday worship is like this, he's not a Jnani, can we recollect who? One other personality from Chaitanya Lila is no purificatory processes. Haridas Thakur, Namacharya. He is glorified as Namacharya, and Advaita Acharya recognized Haridas Thakur as one of the, he is the principal person who received the Vishnu plate during the Shraddha ceremony. So he is honored because he is beyond all these kind of, he's already pure. So there is no necessity for purificatory ceremonies. So he is one of the very connectable examples for us on an everyday basis also, because every day we say Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. So that he is like a person who can tell us that how there are devotees who just come and do this spreading of Lord Chaitanya's mission, and they don't become bound, or Krishna sets them separately. It doesn't mean that they don't want to be bound by these regulative principles. Krishna sets them separately so that we also see their magnitude. Otherwise, we see Lord Chaitanya is taking initiation. They're trying to set examples, but also sometimes there is general misinterpretation that, okay, this is also happening in their life also, they're also ordinary. So Krishna said something separate so that we don't mix up ourselves and them together and then get confused that, okay, I'm also liberated, I don't need anything. So it's like, that's one example. Next paragraph. Generally, a man is born, or a person is born, as an ordinary being, and by the purificatory processes, he is born for the second time. When he sees a new light and seeks direction for spiritual progress, he approaches the spiritual master for instruction in the Vedas. The spiritual master accepts only the sincere inquirer as his disciple and gives him the sacred thread. In this way, a man becomes twice born, or a dvija. After qualifying as a dvija, one may study the Vedas, and after becoming well versed in the Vedas, one becomes a vipra. A vipra, or a qualified brahmana, thus realizes the absolute and makes further progress in spiritual life until he reaches the Vaishnava stage. The Vaishnava stage is the postgraduate status of a brahmana. A progressive Brahmana must necessarily become a Vaishnava. For a Vaishnava is a self-realized, learned Brahmana. So here this paragraph focuses on the three stages of each person's, maybe four. Birth, becoming a Dvija, becoming a Vipra, becoming a Vaishnava. The whole four stages. So Dvija is just like, one who's undergone this initiation, second initiation, or we can just keep it as initiation. And then they learn, after that they seriously engage in study of the scriptures. It doesn't mean that they don't touch the scriptures before, but they become very serious in their studies. Then one who's learned, then they become Vipra. And then one who realizes the learned scriptures, that is ultimately Vedas, 15th chapter, right, in Bhagavad Gita, Vedeshu Sarvera, so Aham Eva Vedya. So one who realizes the conclusive truth of Vedas, that is a Vaishnava. We can see what an opportunity is given to us from the beginning itself. We are not going through all these stages and all that. Lord Chaitanya opened it up, Srila Prabhupada came and said, okay, everybody start chanting from the beginning. Everybody become Vaishnavas. It's not like, okay, you go through this, that things. From the beginning we are given Bhagavatam, from the beginning we are given Harinam, from the beginning we are given Spiritual Masters Association, from the beginning we have Sadhu Sangha. So from the beginning, it's like elevator process, just get on to it and just become a Vaishnava. In the process, we do cultivate all these qualities of, Brahminical qualities and all that, but we are not barred and weighted for the ultimate stage. There is something special about Srila Prabhupada. Nobody dared to do that before. So it's like, we have to be, we feel that in our heart, like Sutta Goswami will also feel some gratitude, So it's something that is important. And and here also we can connect some of these Bhagavad Gita verses also. When we see, Sukadeva Goswami is at the platform of, we say Jnana, we can say like, before. So if we, in that platform, which verse we can remember from Bhagavad Gita, 7th chapter, there are 4 people who come to read Chaturveda Bhajantevam. There are four different kinds of people who come. And then right after that, the next verse, Krishna says, who is the most dear to him? A person or liberated, or a person who is free from material expectations, or a person who is actually at the platform of jnana, of knowing that, okay, I am not this body, there is something beyond. That much. They are dear. It doesn't mean that Krishna doesn't care about the other people. He really cares. But then these people, he says that they are dear because, they don't come to me for economy, they don't come to me for relief, they don't come to me for curiosity, that, okay, who is this person shining on the altar, I want to check it out. It's not that level, but they understand that this is something beyond me, and there is something beyond for me also, so that's the level. So now Sukadeva Goswami is at that level. So he is not actually caring about the distresses that may happen to him after he leaves home. He leaves home, there is so much happens to him around in the city. People actually think that he is mad. And like we know how little kids make fun of mad people, things like that. And this whole thing happens to him when he steps out of the home. But he is not even attached to that. He's not even, it's not even bothering him at all because he is beyond that. So he's not expecting Krishna to give him a perfect life. He wants to just move on. So that's the caliber that he is in, and that's the caliber. That's the person of caliber whom we are hearing Bhagavatam from. It's really thrilling to just know that we are hearing from such a person. Like this is really amazing. So what I was saying, yeah. So then this whole minimal things become really negligible, and the approaching of inquiring into absolute truth becomes a prominent part of the life of a person, and then they become dear because they really want to know Krishna. So at some level, many of us, or I think I can say for myself, I didn't come for that's just that. I came for something else. But some point of time, I have to move on to the next step. Not just keep going on, okay, distress and relief and things like that. We have to move on with our process of bhakti as we're practicing, because we are given this opportunity despite what, whatever reason we came to Krishna for, we know what reason we should approach Krishna for. No. So we can move. And then third paragraph. Srila Sukadeva Goswami was a Vaishnava from the beginning. Therefore, there was no need for him to undergo all the processes of the Varnashrama institution. Ultimately, the aim of Varnashrama Dharma is to turn a crude man into a pure devotee of the Lord, or a Vaishnava. Anyone, therefore, who becomes a Vaishnava accepted by the first class Vaishnava or Uttamadhikari Vaishnava is already considered a Brahmana, regardless of his birth or past deeds. So this is another, just reinforcing again on the principle of importance of just connecting with the spiritual master. All we need to do is to be open when a spiritual master comes into our life and just like move on, just go with it. If we are not perfectly 100% sure, but still we can give how many ever percentage we have, because they accept it. They are not saying, you become 100% and then come, because Lord Chaitanya's mission is whatever percentage you are, just come on in. We will slowly grow. So that's where, many of us or many people in this world are getting this causeless connection with the spiritual master because of Srila Prabhupada, because he opened it up. And then, nobody is barred, no caste, no this, no qualification. You don't even have to inquire about Krishna. You just come. You don't even have to inquire. Any college or school, LKG or something like that. I know here it is pre-KG, and here also there is LKG, UKG, no, right? India, I'm still in India. But anyway, so they have so many screening for these little kids. So many entrance exams and interviews, parents have to attend, children have to attend. There's so much background check. But for us, no background check. If prison ministry is going on in ISKCON, it's like something that's unimaginable for any institution to do something, dare to do something brave like this. And we are also given that opportunity, So, whatever percentage we have, if we give that fully, if we have 1%, that 1% fully, that also we shouldn't be like 50-50. 1%, okay, give 1%. That 1% will grow into 100% at some point, because we are in the association where they have the ability to bring us from distressed or so that to a level of inquiring into absolute truth. And then after that also they only have to take us, but at least even to bring us there, they have the ability. The sadhus have the ability, so that's why it's important for us. And also one other important thing is, Prabhupada clearly writes that Varnashrama Dharma is for turning a crude man into a pure devotee or a Vaishnava. There is no other purpose for Varnashrama. Varnashrama is not for feeling ourselves competent that we are maintaining our family, or it's not for just having a peaceful society. These all happen. But the goal of Varnashrama is that everybody becomes a Vaishnava. There is nothing like children only, adults only, this only, that only, or literate, illiterate, nothing is there. Everybody who practices is Varnashram Dharma, Daivi Varnashram Dharma, but with the goal, we have to keep the goal clear. If the goal is not there, then we will be practicing, but we forget the goal, then we'll have all the side benefits. When we have all the side benefits, we forget the goal, then we'll be lost in the side benefits. I think somewhere Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that, this is not in relation to this, in relation to Ashtanga Yoga, there is 8 stages, right? Yama, Niyama, this thing. So he says the perks that we get for, it's like a highway road, at the end is Bhakti. And then there are exits, these exits are like, this Yama is an exit, you control or you regulate, Yama, Niyama, you become very regulated. There is a kick out of that. We feel some happiness out of it. We feel some kind of steadiness. And there is then pranayama, your senses are controlled. Pratyahara, your mind, this whole thing. If we don't remember that we have to reach the destination, all the exits are attractive. And then we don't end up in the goal, even though we started practicing for that. Like that, Varnashrama also has a lot of perks. When we do engage it properly, devotional service, there's a lot of things that we get. We get a lot of affection from devotees. And we get a lot of, like, okay, we get a belongingness, we have a temple, we have belongingness, we have services, we have so many things that come, and then we also get really a lot of knowledge. Actually speaking, I don't know if we get this much knowledge anywhere else, because we get so much knowledge in ISKCON. And periodically we have seminars, we have this, and so many things are happening. Our kids also get benefited. At least they learn some values. Whether they are attracted to Krishna at this age or not, they learn some values. They have their own friends group. At least they are vegetarian. There are so many nice things happening in our life. Maybe we don't notice. But all these actually are very attractive. And the effect of all this are very attractive too. So, if we don't remember why we are practicing this family life, why we are practicing this brahmachari life, or why we are practicing whatever life we are leading, then we may just get carried away with its exits. And then, then what? Nothing. Then we'll be here again 100 years or 70 years we live, and then we come back again, start from square one. I mean, at least, in the learning aspect, bhakti never goes wrong, but it's like, it takes a long time. It's not its full stop. There's a lot of commas in our life, So, the last few sentences here. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this principle and recognized Srila Haridas Thakur as the Acharya of the holy name, although Haridas Thakur appeared in a Mohammedan family. So now Prabhupada has given everything. Now he is giving a conclusion, a punchline, or what does he want to communicate. In conclusion, Srila Shukadeva Goswami was born a Vaishnava, and therefore Brahmanism was included in him. He did not have to undergo any ceremonies. Any low-born person, be he a Girata, Huna, Andhra, Pulinda, Pulkasha, Abhira, Shumba, Yavana, Kasha, or even lower, can be delivered to the highest transcendental position by the mercy of the Vaishnavas. Srila Shukadeva Goswami was a spiritual master of Srila Suta Goswami, who therefore offers his respectful obeisances and Srila Shukadeva Goswami before he begins his answers to the questions of the sages of Naimisharanya. So again, it's like a whole lot of mercy, free flood. And yesterday, I think in one of the discussions, Vrindavan Prabhu told one proverb in Telugu. Most of us are, some of us are not Telugu speaking. It was something like, I can't say it in Telugu now because I don't know that well, but the meaning was that somebody kicked you, I mean, you really love vadas, somebody kicked you and you go and fall in the basket of vadas. you have a lot of, you have a feast there waiting. It's like, we may not feel it as much if we think we are in this human body. Think of a mouse or something. If it falls in the basket of vadas, what a feast. It's like a big thing for them. It lasts for a long time for them. So like that. Here, we are not even getting kicked actually. We are being gently pulled or something. Sometimes we get kicked, but we have to remember where we are ending up. If we are ending up in the right place, it's okay, right? It's like really great. We all as a bunch go and end up in a basket of Bhagavatam, a basket of this all pure devotees. Sukadeva Goswami, Maharaj, everybody sitting there watching. It's not. That's where we are actually falling here. Nobody, at least, we are not so much inclined. Okay, every day. At least I wasn't when I came first. Every day I want to study Bhagavad. Every day I want to do 4 hours chanting or something. No. But now we have this Bhagavatam class. We keep on getting repeated messages. Come. Please join. So we are getting kicked, but we are falling into this basket. We are falling into this basket of Maharaj Parikshit, Vidur. I mean, what a caliber of basket this is really super. So we can just come, something like that. And then one point that actually catches me in this verse is the last line of the verse, which actually, that was a point of attachment for me for this verse when I first read it. Tam sarva bhutam hridayam munimanatosmi. Tam sarva bhutam hridayam. Actually, who is in Sarva Bhuta's hridaya? Only Super Soul. Krishna only can be there, either in his expansion and when person becomes really like attached to Krishna, Shama Sundar form is there in the, as super soul, not a neutral Paramatma form. But here, Sukadeva Goswami can enter the hearts of all the people. That's what actually the line means, right? All living entities, Hridayam, heart. Where is the last line? Oh, my son. Yeah, Srila Sudha Goswami said, let me offer my respectful obeisance unto the great sage, Shukadeva Goswami, who can enter the hearts of all. This, we saw Sudha Goswami, sages, their relationship is the Sudha Goswami in the first chapter. In this verse, we are seeing Sudha Goswami's relationship with Sukadeva Goswami. But Sukadeva Goswami's relationship with the super soul is so thick, Krishna is so thick, that he is able to enter the hearts of everybody. It's not like something, that we have to, it's not amazing for them, but it's amazing for us. Because with our own family members, we can't understand them. We have so much conflict. It's very hard to understand the other person's heart unless they really express it like open. Even then, we can only understand to a limit, because we will understand to the limit of whatever we can capture. So we don't feel understood by the other person doesn't feel understood by this whole thing happens, because we are not like very unlimited in this perspective. But here, spiritual master is unlimited. Sukadeva Goswami is a special person, but we can also see Vyasadeva also can do that. Right now, he is offering obeisances to Sukadeva Goswami, so we are hearing about Sukadeva Goswami. But in general, Narada Muni knows. We see Narada Muni going into everybody's life and just switching over their life situations, because he can enter in the hearts of people and know what they really want. Even if they're getting carried away, what do they really want? He knows. He goes and interrupts and does different things, and then his intervention brings a lot of mercy, because they can enter into that. We don't even have to scriptures. How many times, I don't know if we have all watched Following Srila Prabhupada, the DVD series that Yadubar Prabhu put together, Memories of Srila Prabhupada, where his disciples share. Prabhupada will speak something, and then everybody feels understood in the class. Most of them feel that I felt like I was seen for who I was, beyond my hippie look, beyond my dress up, beyond my whatever I was. I felt like I was seen as a person inside. They felt something deeper. That moment was enough for them to commit to Srila Prabhupada. So, if we talk about Srila Prabhupada, there are so many pastimes, right? Where people would have felt that even through his letter, there are devotees who have gotten initiated. To this date, they haven't seen Srila Prabhupada. One of the examples is Satarupa Mataji, Badahari Prabhu's wife. She has never met Prabhupada. That's what she told. I didn't see Prabhupada. She didn't see yet. So she said, I think I have to go to the spiritual world to see him. She got initiated through letter. She went to whatever temple it was. She went there and Prabhupada just left from there. So like that, she missed a couple of times. Then there was no opportunity. But what is the commitment level that they are showing? It's really something, because that's where we see Srila Prabhupada has entered their hearts. And there is one other devotee, we can speak so much, but Krishna Nandini Mataji, one of the GVT, Grihastha Vision team. She said once, we were just talking Gita Nagari, she said once that at one point I understood, after Srila Prabhupada left, I understood at one point that now I have to go within my heart and search where Srila Prabhupada is in my heart. Spiritual Master is there with us. If Super Soul is there, pure devotee is there, inside our heart. Krishna is not without anybody. Krishna is always with this pure devotee. So if Krishna is there in our heart, at least theoretically Spiritual Master is there. Prabhupada is there. If we don't feel a connection, we are just not seeing. So when Krishna Nandini said that, I have to, at one point I really realized after Srila Prabhupada's departure that I have to now find Prabhupada in my heart. I cannot find him outside. That's a very deep statement actually. It's a very deep principle in one sense. So, how they can enter into everybody's hearts? They have entered into our lives means they have entered into our hearts. But we just have to see, if we feel somewhat disconnect, we can sit down and see where they are in our heart. They will be. We just have to see, So, I mean, this verse is like something very nice, and the next verse is super beautiful verse tomorrow, Anupam Prabhu's verse. It's really nice. So, this is what I have with my sharing. I want to request everybody to spend 2 minutes and just share something before the curtain opens. Yeah. The microphone is there somewhere. And please add or edit or delete anything.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for really breaking down these paragraphs and verses. I read these verses last night before going to sleep and didn't understand what you explained. So it really, how you spoke from your heart, I feel very connected. And this point of connecting with spiritual master, it's something I've been thinking, how to do. You brought a lot of light.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so
I'll add
much.
one thing. Sorry. Bhakti Tirtha Maharaj used to write every day at night before going to sleep. He used to write a letter to Prabhupada. From the beginning he started till he was here in this planet, he used to write every day letter to Prabhupada. It's like we learn all these things from all these great souls. I mean, we know only a few of them actually. There are so many out there which we don't know how they do it. But some of them somehow Krishna's Vaste we come to know. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. It's very enlivening, and that point really struck me so much. When you were mentioning Sudhu Swami is not sharing from the memory what he has heard from the spiritual master, but connecting to the heart as Swami Mataji shared. And throughout the class, I was literally feeling your sharing that even though you have read and heard from Mataji and Maharaj, it's really like opening the heart and feeling so grateful for this opportunity you're sharing. That was really
I
nice.
want to also be open. Please pray for me also. It's maybe once in a while we become open, but to stay open is a thing. So please pray for me too.
Thank you so much.
Comments, any additions?
Thank you so much for the inspiring class, as always.
Oh, Mataji.
And I was remembering the last class when we were discussing about gratitude journal, and we are all asked to do that. And sometimes we wonder, if you just write it down, how is it going to get communicated? Absolutely, it does get communicated because spiritual master is there. He can definitely understand it. That we have seen in our own personal lives with our limited understanding, as well as you hear about Srila Prabhupada and his disciples. And that was something like the way Srila Prabhupada set up this institution in the morning, immediately after greeting the deities and the worship of the spiritual master, the system that was set up. If only one can really internalize it and participate in the worship of the spiritual master with a proper understanding, life becomes perfect. That's the way every single aspect of worship is set up in the whole of ISKCON. The problem is that we are not really mindfully thinking about that in a very conscious way. If we are very consciously living our life, everything that is required to progress in spiritual life is given to us by Srila Prabhupada. I don't think we can find that anywhere else. And that reinstating those messages when whoever is sitting there and speaking, this is the beauty of coming together in the association of devotees.
Yeah.
It can be a child sitting there and speaking, but if you are able to sit together and listen, that's what Prabhupada gave us, and the whole the program also. So if only we could, from the heart, participate as a community, we will grow very nicely. And this is why begging everybody to please come. So I don't know whatever you all can do to beg to everybody else on a daily basis, please do so that we can get everybody here and make what Prabhupada gave us really meaningful in everybody's life. And thank you again for your wonderful class.
Thank you, Mataji.
Anybody?
Thank you very much for such a wonderful class. Beautiful example of the highway. Even there are so many exits and we become connected.
Bhakti not Thakur.
I have a small question.
We have so many devotees here who can
answer. Maybe part of it was already answered in the lecture and what Ramananda Mataji just spoke. My question is like how to create a culture where devotees have these serious inquiries, like the sages of Naimisharanya are asking Sutta Goswami, these 6 questions. Generally, we see that in the beginning days, this inquiry, propensity to inquire about Krishna consciousness is very, very much live in our hearts because we don't know much. And we know that all these devotees know far better than us. And we have this tendency to learn. But over a period of time, it happens that I spent 10 years, I know. If I don't know, or if people come to know that I don't know, then they may consider me like, you have 10 years experience in bhakti, but you don't know even this much. This kind of. So with this, the inquiry actually becomes, goes to the background. In my own personal case, I have been in touch with Premananda Mataji for even before coming here, maybe some 10-15 days before or 1 month before coming here actually. But most of my inquiries are how to get a house, how to get, how to get this done, how to get that done, how to get a car. But hardly I ever asked Mataji that how can I become a pure devotee. So when this kind of I know that these are important.
Yeah.
Kali
I
Yuga
was
is
going to
very
say that. I think when you move, if you just ask how to become pure devotee, you will just stay. Sorry, Sita. You just stay where you are practice. So I think it's great that you're asking, asking Premananda Mataji rather than a realtor or somebody. That's the kind of connection. I'm sorry, I just interrupted.
Actually, these questions are important because in Kali Yuga we don't find those 4 categories which you were mentioning. Artha, we see only Artha, and Artha. People have anxiety. People are so much in anxiety that Jivnas and Gnani are rarely found actually. But then
There are some.
rarely many are. But in general it is very difficult, and even if we have this culture, we say that coming to the association of devotees is the beginning point. But then keeping the culture of inquiring about how to improve in bhakti, like in 168 hours in a week, hardly we spend 2 hours in a week to come for Bhagavatam class. And even then, maybe 10 minutes to contemplate on what we heard and how to progress in bhakti, which is like hardly nothing, hardly anything actually. So how to keep this culture alive in our heart?
I mean, I can, as you were asking, some thoughts came. One thing is that to make a serious inquiry or to get answers for serious inquiry, we know that Anyabhilasha is universe, right? Jnana and karma. Prabhupada says somewhere that this jnana and karma thing, to leave it takes only one moment, not a whole lifetime or many lifetimes or something. So to make a serious inquiry, with really deep from the heart, it takes only 1 minute or 1 moment or fraction of a second or something like that, right? So all we are doing now is that to awaken that serious inquiry. This is a culture, I feel, the culture of inquiry is not just that only asking questions on an everyday basis, but we all try to hear every day, even for 15 minutes or 20 minutes from Prabhupada and our spiritual master, we try to hear. If we take one thing from that and then write it down or put it somewhere in front of us, then that inquiry will try to go on at least 2-3 times a day. Moment to moment inquiry happens when we become more and more purified, right? But we are on the process. So to create a culture, the way you said, culture means there are everybody doing the same thing, right? It's not just personal. But everybody doing the same thing needs one or two persons doing it regularly. You know, like when somebody asked actually Prabhupada Maharaj about, you know, they were doing kids class, they said, you know, Maharaj, how to have these children get inspired in Krishna consciousness, or how to get them to chant. You know, this is like some challenge of a parent or a children teacher they face, that despite whatever they do, they're getting out of the grip after a particular age. Not everybody becomes, okay, I like it, you know, not like that, you know. So then Rompa Swami Maharaj responds by saying that you be an example to do that, because they're going to watch you all the time. We think nobody is seeing us, but everybody is seeing us. You know? So you know, if we lead, if we try from our side, if we try from our side, and then we will just like, we can create a culture. But there will be a few who may be also trying. We can join them and try it together. Then it becomes easy to create a culture. And this is also part of creating a culture. You know, as we go, hopefully we'll get to everyday Bhagavatam classes. That will create a stronger culture. It's a beginning point. I don't know if it really addressed anything, but I'm just sharing.
We have some thought came to
Yeah,
mind.
thank you.
It was that, thank you for that answer. I just I'm sure our Pandru Gopal is sitting here. I'm sure he has something to say about it also. You mentioned about it that Jnana and Karma is in a fraction of a second you can get rid of it. I was thinking that a little different, that this intellectual curiosity and analysis is something sometimes people find it very difficult to overcome, because many times you see that people stay on the intellectual platform. He was asking about the deep inquiry. How does it, culture of hearing is there, but deep inquiry, of course, you have to continuously hear, but you have to also, I think there is a need on our part to cultivate that the mood of inquiry and introspect on what we are hearing, because you can hear through one ear and let it go through the other. You know, so many classes we have heard, but if there is, we don't take a moment to introspect, I don't see any way we will make a progress. The stages of Naimisharanya and all were, they were at a platform where they have nothing else. You know, that is their only purpose. They are not like people like us. They are already at a certain platform. But we are in a very early stages of our spiritual growth. But we can also see, even within our community, that jitnasa, that real depth with which one wants to hear or appreciate, you can see that in limited number of people. You can see that. No matter however much we say, let us all come together, it is the same old 5 people who are here. So unless there is some introspection on the part of every individual, we cannot, you know, the question was, how do you come there? And so sometimes I get really this, you are not motivating anybody. You know, you can motivate only to the extent, I mean, unless you are a real motivational speaker, which many of us are not. We are not born to be motivational speakers. But it's not just that superficial motivation also. It's not like motivational speaking in this world on so many subject matters that everybody is an expert. Spiritual inquisitiveness is something which comes from deep within. And I mean, hearing is the culture which we need to create. But it is individually, there is a growth in this whole process. So that's what I feel.
Yeah, actually, in relation to what you said, Mataji, only one more word.
Yeah. Yeah, use this.
Only one thing that I recollect is that Bhaktivinoda Thakur has said we try to write gratitude journals every day, right? He also said we have to every day at the end of the day we should write a reflection journal. What did I do okay today? how can I do better tomorrow? That is, it's not like just on the surface level. As we keep asking, we'll get the same surface level, right? We'll be hitting the same spot. After a point, we'll become bored with that same spot. Then we will go deeper, because that creates an inquiry. And then, as Mataji said, take one or two messages and then ponder on it, or try to take that into different aspects of our life or something like that. There are so many things I think we have heard, but it's just something. I think you know, Prabhu. Just thank you.